Welcome once again to BUSI 210. This is personal finance. And you've just clicked on the course orientation, the Welcome to Moodle Start Here icon in the middle of the page here. At any rate, I just wanted to walk through just to kind of give you a little bit of an overview of how the course is laid out in Moodle. It can be a bit confusing, but it's actually fairly straightforward. You'll notice that on the left-hand side, you'll see the titles of the various segments of the course. It's laid out in modules, pretty much on a weekly basis. And so we'll just walk through a few of these, the next few slides to kind of give you a flavor for how the course again is laid out. Okay. Okay. So we moved on from the course orientation, and of course you'll be able to take a look at the course intro. That's just a kind of an overview of the course itself, what it's all about, personal finance. Again, the course overview, this is a text format, if you will, walking through how the course is laid out, a bit of an outline, if you will, in Moodle itself, okay? And again, moving down, just continuing on down through the list, if you will, on this left-hand side, we're going to be looking at financial diary next. So the financial diary it's simply something that I want you to put together, by the end of the term. It's just tracking your expenses. So we're kind of putting together a really rough budget, but it's just looking at the expense side. We're not going to be focusing on, of course, in a normal budget, you'll be looking at your revenue and your expense, kind of an income statement type of a routine looking through. But the objective to this exercise is to kind of for you to track your expenses over the course of like a month. And you have to really get granular rather. What I mean by that is really drill down and try to track all of your expenses. If you have $500 to cover your expenses for a month, 2 months, 3 months, what have you, I'd like to see how every one of those dollars are spent. Okay, that's kind of the objective. And it's something that's graded again at the end of the term. So it'll give you a chance over the course of this term to give yourself a month of measuring your expenses as you kind of go. Okay. So next thing, just a quick look at this is the syllabus. This is just the header. Be sure to print out a copy of the syllabus for yourself. I usually put it out there in PDF format, and it's always a good idea to have a copy of the syllabus on hand in case Moodle goes down. So you can always contact me, and I always make sure to leave plenty of information. I leave my cell number on here, and you can feel free to call. I prefer no text unless there's some emergency that pops up, but I'm usually pretty much reachable via email. So contact me. That's probably the first part. The first step would be to do that. Anyhow, onward we go. So this is looking at just the first week to kind of give you an idea the different assessments, if you will, in how your grades are measured. That's really what the main focus is, right? So it's broken out pretty much the same going forward, looking at it in terms of like a module type of an overview of what to expect, what we're covering this week, if you will, or this unit. And then what we have is the discussion forum or the discussion board. I just call it it's forum in Moodle, but I just refer to it as discussion board. You may have heard it as either or in previous online classes that you may have had. At any rate, pretty straightforward. We'll be walking through that next, and then of course there are quizzes and homework assignments, etc. Anyhow, moving on. So the discussion board is pretty straightforward. And what I would expect for you to do in a normal week is to have 5 total posts, and within those posts, the 3 responses to the questions that I pose. So, for example, what are the main elements of every decision that we make in finance, in personal finance, etc.? What are some of the risks that are associated with financial decisions? And what is the relationship between risk and reward? More risk, greater reward. More risk, more likely that you will lose all of your investment or some part thereof. Anyhow, you kind of get the idea. This is the discussion board, so I want you to respond to 3 of these questions that I pose, and then comment on 2 of your fellow students. Critically, speak critically to those to the posts that your fellow students have. It's the idea behind that, of course, is that it's your role as a fellow student to help your other students, to learn the part of the course material as well. Okay, very, 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 very straightforward. And then on we go, on we go. So the quizzes are again pretty straightforward. They're multiple choice, true, false for the most part. Typically, I think I have like 10 questions. And in the quizzes themselves, with the quiz themselves, what you can do is save your quiz and come back to the quiz, and and when you're finally comfortable, you can submit the quiz. And so I've allowed one attempt on this quiz, and that's usually the typical standard quiz. So again, they're multiple choice, true, false, okay? And the homework piece of it is pretty straightforward, so I'll pass on that, and that is due for, all of these assignments are due within the context of the given module. So if it's week by week, then at the end of that week. Um, so the next piece of the grading, if you will, for the course has to do with exams. And so the exams are a little bit different in that the exams are timed, and you have plenty of time. You have 2 hours to complete 40 questions. And in all honesty, I've rarely had students go up even close to that 2 hour mark, or in some cases I have like 90 minutes. But again, similar setup in terms of multiple choice, true, false, and perhaps a few fill in the blank type of questions. Again, that is the substance of what you'll find in this course kind of going forward. Okay.